Wait, this meeting? Oh, okay. Welcome back to the Deep Thoughts podcast. My name is Trey, your lovable host. We have a glorious interview that we were about to conduct, but I'm not doing the interviewing. More about that later. But before we get to that, I would like to say, if there's anybody who has not heard of Outside the Box and who would love to know what we're all about, just go to your computer, go to YouTube, type in Outside the Box Indianapolis. There you'll find our lovely YouTube page. Click on the subscribe button, give us a 5-star rating, and check in those comments because we love to hear what you guys like to say. Anyway, you guys are about to be knowing a little bit about myself today on the podcast. So, without further ado, I would like to pass it on to Agent K.
Thank you, Trey, and thanks for that great introduction. So, Trey, today you will be being interviewed by myself. Over the last 6 months, you and I have been working on Deep Thoughts with Trey. We've interviewed people within the disability community. We've interviewed national news anchors, local news anchors. We've even interviewed a few former staff and the co-founder of OTB. How do you feel having interviewed all of these wonderful people?
I feel great. We have a lot of people who have tremendous qualities in themselves, and I'm very appreciative what they've done for us. So, yes, it was an honor to interview those people.
I love that. Trey, it was an honor to be a part of that. And I have to say, you have done an incredible job of giving people a voice and making sure that those voices are heard. So keep up that awesome work. My next question for you, Trey, is what led you to want to interview people?
Well, I wanted to interview Alexa Bliss. That's like my big main goal. So I talked to my parents about it, and actually they told me to start out in your local area. So that's what I did. I started in my local area, and here I am right now doing what I love to do, interviewing people. It's what I like to do, you know?
I'm so glad that your parents have given you that support. And for our audience who may not know, who is Alexa Bliss and what does she mean to you, Trey?
For those of you who do not know who Alexa Bliss is a WWE superstar who is currently on the Raw brand. And she's like a 5-time WWE Women's Champion. And she's great. She unfortunately she had an obstacle that she had to cross, and she crossed it, she beat it, and what she means to me, she is great. I would love to interview her. That's like my dream interview.
That's awesome. Sounds like she is a fighter both professionally and in her personal life. That's incredible.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing a little bit about the people that inspire you. My next question, Trey, if you could interview, besides Alexa Bliss, who was another top number one pick that you would have to interview?
That would have to be Mackenzie Roth. Mackenzie Roth is like an entertainment insider. She's currently working on Rich TV, and she used to be on radio. She used to have a radio show, and yes, I would love to interview her too as well.
Oh, very cool. Very important local figure who's been on both television and radio. That's awesome. Trey, now that you have interviewed a number of awesome individuals, what is the next chapter going to look like for you? Where do you plan to go with all of your interviewing skills you have acquired and continue to develop?
Now, who knows where I'll be in years to come? I'm just gonna have to wait and see where it will take me. But to answer your question, I hope to do this years to come because that's just what I like to do.
I sure hope so, Trey. You are awesome at what you do. I think you have a bright future ahead of you. And speaking of the future, OTB has relaunched, reopened their doors. Now, I know you plan to come back in June. What will the next chapter look like for Deep Thoughts with Trey now that you will be back in the building in a couple weeks?
You know, I was thinking about that earlier this year. What will happen to Deep Thoughts with Trey when I come back in the building? Well, for those of you who are worried, Deep Thoughts with Trey is not going anywhere. I will still be doing the podcast. And for those of you who want to be interviewed, get in touch with my agent. She'll definitely talk to you. And I would just like to say to all my viewers out there, I love you so much. Continue to watch, subscribe to the channel, find our page, and like us.
Excellent. Trey, what an honor it has been to interview you. I am grateful that you are giving voice to folks within your community, that you have found your own voice, and I look forward to what is to come. Thanks for being on the show today and for letting me do an interview with you.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.